Welcome back to Sunday Night Spookies, the podcast dedicated to exploring the mysterious and the spooky unknown. My name is Lex.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is episode 20, the Henderson Castle Investigation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We've been MIA for a little bit. We apologize.
Yes.
We had Arthur Legs eat a plastic hanger.
Yeah, my dog likes to ingest everything that is not food.
Yeah. And so we had a little scare with that. Mm-hmm. Had to get that taken care of. Yeah. And he threw us a little bit off schedule. And then you went out of town for a week. Mm-hmm. And I can't do spookies without you.
You could, but it just wouldn't be nearly as fun without me.
No. So. I would embarrass myself as more than I already do. So, here we are with the last episode in season 2. We do have season 3 prepped a little bit. We know what we're doing.
The schedule.
We got the schedule going. Mm-hmm. So don't worry, we're not like giving up on the podcast. I know I've had a few messages from people that are like, "You guys okay?
Hi,
like what's going on?"
Yeah.
So we apologize for being MIA. We're back. We're not abandoning the podcast.
No.
So here we are.
Yeah, we're here. So Henderson Castle.
Yeah.
You and I have been there before, previously.
Yeah.
And the last time that we went, we kind of did it with like the intention of like being spooked and like it's spooky, but we just got drunk.
Yeah, very drunk. So because it's like one of the most haunted things. Like if you look up haunted things in Michigan, this is always on the list.
It's usually rated. I've seen it on like 2 lists being number 1.
Right. Yeah. And when we went before, it was before the podcast. We didn't really have any equipment. Mm-hmm. I think we might have had like the EMF. We had my app, I think, is like it. Yeah, the app and the EMF. Mm-hmm. And that was, we were just going to go for fun.
Yeah.
And we ended up just getting really drunk. We did have fun. We got really drunk.
We drank a lot. In full disclosure, we did not drink there.
No, we didn't drink there. We drank at a bar because alcohol is not allowed on the premises. Outside alcohol.
Unless you are not allowed to have outside alcohol.
Yeah, there's a bar downstairs, which we definitely
frequented. Yes. It's fine.
So if you don't know the Henderson Castle, it's in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and it's this grand house. It's like this...
It really is just like a mansion.
A mansion, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful on the outside. A lot of weddings happened there. Yep. It's very old. Mm-hmm. It's now a bed and breakfast. It was built in 1895. And I'm going to read right from the website because it's got like a pretty concise and just... It's a clear history. I don't have to rewrite it if I don't have to. So here we go. Frank Henderson was one of the earliest Kalamazoo businessmen, if you will. He was very wealthy. He was the owner and president of Henderson Ames Company, which made uniform regalia for secret societies, fraternal organizations, and the military. So secret societies. Mm-hmm. Mr. Henderson's wife, Mary, inherited a large plot of undeveloped land on the western edge of Kalamazoo before the company's large success. And Mr. Henderson always had this dream of building this grand suburban home. It's not a suburban home, it's a goddamn mansion. Yes. But that's fine.
It isn't a suburbia type of home that you would see now.
No, it's on a hill. It's massive.
It's huge.
It's just... We'll insert some pictures, as we'll have pictures on our social media, too. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
In 1888, he enlisted the help of surveyors, engineers, and landscape architects to plot the land that his wife inherited, and he created Kalamazoo's first natural site plan. In 1890, Mr. Henderson was ready to build his home in this new residential district. So he kind of like, they got this huge plot of land, and he's like, you know what, this is going to be a residential area now. So he like hired all these people to just we're going to build homes here. This is going to be this residential area.
What kind of disposable income do you have to have?
For real. The Queen Anne style house was designed by C.A. Gombert of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The $72,000 building cost included 7 baths, one with a 13-headed shower, an elevator, a third-floor ballroom, and a hot tub on the roof that was later added. The castle's exterior was constructed of Lake Superior sandstone and brick, and the interior wood included mahogany, bird's eye maple, quartered oak, birch, and American sycamore. The castle was built with 25 rooms in all and exemplified the most expensive tastes of the time. And it really is exquisite in there. Like, it's gorgeous. Like, the room we stayed in had a green marble floor and green marble fireplace.
Yeah.
Beautiful. The Hendersons had a grand housewarming party in 1895 at the completion of the castle's construction. Mr. Henderson, however, did not live long there. He died in 1899, and his wife remained in the castle until 1908. After Mrs. Henderson moved away, 9 parties have owned the castle so far. In 1957, the house was purchased as the future site for the Kalamazoo Art Center. However, it never moved there. It just remained downtown Kalamazoo. They bought it. Never used it.
All right.
The castle then became the property of the renowned liberal arts school at Kalamazoo College. The castle has been in 3 movies, all of which were horror films.
Yep.
Which
makes sense.
Makes sense. Because it's pretty in there, but it's like... It just reminds me of, like, the Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
Like, it's not that grandiose.
Yeah, it's not that big.
Not that grandiose. But...
I get it.
It's kind of eerie.
Like a giant staircase, and there's a stained glass window. So.
And then, like, the dining area, it's got, like, this creepy marble statue of this woman. It's just a weird placement of that statue. I don't know.
It's fine. There's a lot of weird placements of things there.
One of the horror films I've actually seen, and I want to watch it again because and it's been forever since I've seen it, but it's called In the Woods. And I didn't realize that the Henderson Castle was in it, so now I have, like, the ambition to go rewatch this movie and, like, find...
and see where and when.
Yeah, because it just said it's included in it. It doesn't say, like, it was the main setting for this movie. Because I think I would have remembered that. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's also been featured on the Discovery Channel and House Hunters.
Okay.
Which I think is pretty interesting. So the castle is 11,000 square feet in total. It sits on 3 acres of land. And there's 10 distinctive bedrooms available, and they have their own cottage just off of the castle, which when we were there, I knew that they had the cottage there. But to me, it looked more like the groundskeeper's area.
And maybe it is.
But you can rent it.
Huh.
Which makes it's weird because, like, there was...
Oh, yeah, we did see that you could rent it.
Just outside the cottage, there was, like, wheelbarrows and, like, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't look dirty or, like, whatever.
Unkempt, but...
It just looked like the groundskeeper's house. I don't know.
Whatever.
So it's, like, the basic history. And like we said, our room had, like, green marble all over it. It, like, red bedspreads or gold or something. It was...
Purple? Royal purple?
I don't know. They were, like, very exquisite.
There was, like, a red tablecloth with the, like, water glasses and stuff.
Yeah, and the water, like, as you walk in your room, the only room inside the castle that you can rent with more than 2 people is the one that we had to get, obviously, because we brought your mom along. So we'll be including some footage of her. But that's the only room that has more than 2 people allowed, other than the cottage. And there was, like, a little... not dining table, but, like, a little table with some chairs and a red tablecloth. And, like, the water came in, like, this very old, tall, antique-looking bottle with wine glasses. It was just very grand. I mean, for our standards. Yeah. For my standards especially. It was very grand.
The water was from the tap.
Which doesn't bother me. I love tap water. However, this tap water smelled... very weird.
It smelled weird. You could, like, smell it when you poured it. It was just, like, wasn't there.
Yeah, I made them smell it. But I
don't think that's a Henderson Castle problem. I think that's a Kalamazoo problem. So, it's fine. It was a nice setup.
Yeah.
And they had books of dogs.
Yeah, there was just, like, books of, like, dog breeds with pictures, which was great.
Yeah.
We looked at them.
It's fine.
So when we first got there, we unpacked, set out all of our equipment. We were going to go to dinner, I think. And we had heard, like, I have a list of some things that have been seen there. Like, people have seen a spirit of a dog. Didn't see that.
Did not see a spirit
Didn't sense a dog. People have said there's a spirit of a Spanish-American War veteran that lingers.
Okay.
Okay. A spirit of a small child, which I don't know if we got small child. We definitely got child.
Yep.
Like under the age of 12, I want to say. Mm-hmm. Not like 4, but, something. We got something. People also said that they've felt a lot of weird presences on the stairs. A lot of people said that they see Mary Henderson on the stairs, like Lady in White, Mary Henderson. A lot of people report that while they're standing on top of the stairs, on the landing of the stairs, they feel something like looming behind them.
Yikes.
Like it's just kind of on edge, like there's something there, I don't really know what kind of thing.
Sure.
A paranormal group in Kalamazoo that has done investigations here at least a dozen times, and they've reported that one time they've had seen the word or the name Claire in the dust, like appear in the dust, like it wasn't there. They go back, it's there. And I guess Claire was the name of the Spanish-American War veteran. They've also seen a lot of, or they've also heard a lot of like, go away, or leave me alone, or like very standoffish EVPs. They've reported a lot of that.
Okay.
Okay. They also said a lot of weird noises, a lot of doors moving on their own, or things, because there's like the hotel, the bed and breakfast, is really highly decorated, and there's like trinkets and music things and things everywhere, and so people have reported a lot of that missing or moved slightly, like just enough to like catch your attention, like was that like that before, type things. People have reported, like I said, seeing Mary on top of the stairs, but not a lot of that. Not a lot of apparitions, not a lot of big major, like, and the door slammed on its own, or the glasses moved on its own, or,
right.
You know what I mean? So I think we were really skeptical going into it, because the last few investigations we've had have been kind of shit. Yeah. They haven't really been great.
Yeah. It wasn't shit.
No.
I left kind of confused.
I left confused. I want more.
Yeah.
I don't have the money to do a lot more there. Right. But I want more. I want more answers. Because a lot of the stuff that we got was like, what? Yeah. Like, that's the reaction I was having to a lot of this stuff when like going back evidence review. Like, what? Yeah. What does this mean? What? Right. What? Like, I'm just like frustrated at how like we got something. But also. But what does it mean? What does it all mean?
I mean, okay, for starters, there is a hot tub on the roof.
There sure is.
Before we get into the evidence. Yeah. Just like, we'll talk about it a little bit. Yeah. There is a hot tub on the roof. It is very nice.
Very nice. And nobody knows it's there. We had a hell of a time trying to find it. Your mom actually went down and like asked somebody.
Well, so it's it's the third floor. Third floor, there's a ballroom.
It's like a small ballroom.
It kind of looks like an empty pub.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because there's like a bar and then just like old wooden floors and just like a couple of tables here and there.
Well, there's also guest rooms in there.
There's guest rooms off of the ballroom.
Yeah, so like you go in the ballroom and then the other wall, there's like 2 guest rooms. Mm-hmm. Unmarked, which is, we knocked on one of them. Sorry, guy.
Yeah. So we were looking for the hot tub.
Because it's on the roof by third floor access, obviously.
So you would need to find a door that would get you to a staircase.
Yes.
Because there's no, like, other staircase going up.
And there's no signs.
No. There was, I want to say 5 rooms.
5 doors in total in there.
Approximately. And one of the doors said, don't enter massage and session or something.
Yeah, because they have, like, a spa. Yeah. They do, like, sometimes they'll do, like, massages or facials or, like...
whatever.
Because it's, like, a wedding venue. So.
Yeah. So... I was like, oh, well, we can't go into it, but it was late.
But there was, it was like 9 p.m.
It was probably 8:30, 9 o'clock. Yeah.
And there was no lights on in there?
Right. So I was just like, oh, I want to go in here, but like, what if I open the door and somebody's laying there getting a massage or...
And they just requested all the lights be off for some creepy reason.
Who knows? And so like, my mom goes and She's fearless. So she just, like, picks a door, and I don't remember what the door said. Boudoir room? Was it
boudoir room? Yeah.
And she was like, well, maybe this is it? And so she, like, knocked on it, and somebody was like, who is it?
We're like, never mind.
Just kidding, sorry.
Go.
And so my mom asked, and we found out that it was the room that said, hey, don't enter, massage in progress, or whatever.
Yeah.
And so...
Take your sign down.
I will say, that was the creepiest room to me.
I wish we could have investigated up there. It was the creepiest.
In hindsight, we probably could have.
Yeah.
And when I look back on it, I'm like, we probably could have. They probably would have asked us what the hell we were doing because there was cameras, like, everywhere.
Yeah.
But...
Because they have very strict rules, in case you didn't know.
Very strict rules. But that room, like, I walked in and, like, instantly I felt, like, dread. It was just, like, not a great room. Not, like, sad dread, but just, like, distraught dread.
Yeah, well, because you walk in, and it's got the same green, weird marble floor. Mm-hmm. And there's just one massage table in the middle of the room. Mm-hmm. And there's, like, a weird sink. Like, you enter, and on your right, there's, like, this, like, sink that was definitely added in later. It's just, like, this weird random sink for, like, the masseuse to wash their hands, I'm assuming. I'm hoping.
Right, hopefully.
And then you, like... There's no light switch.
There was only, like, the one light by the door, and it had, like, a twisty to turn on.
Yeah.
And then there was, like, a big window along the side, but it was dark, so there wasn't... Like, it was almost dark outside.
And they had, like, a curtain on it.
So there wasn't a lot of light coming in. But, like, you walked in and you're like, what is this?
And where's the staircase?
Right.
Because you couldn't, it's not, like, immediately right there.
No, because there's, like, along the wall on your right is where the staircase is, but you can't see the staircase until you, like, go around it. And
you're on the third floor, and this house is a bunch of different peaks. Mm-hmm. And so in the spa room where we're at, the, if you're listening, you can't see what I'm doing, but, like, there's, like, you know how you go up to the attic. Mm-hmm. You like it's like a slanted roof. Mm-hmm. Well, that was there, and you kind of had to, like, duck in to get up the staircase. And so we were like, are we supposed to be in here?
Like, are we breaking rules?
And there was no lights for the staircase. We had to use our flashlights on our phone.
Mm-hmm. And it's not like a super tall staircase, but it was dark. It was dark.
Dark, yeah.
And then you would, like, eventually went up a little bit of the ways, and then it was like, oh, hey, we're, like, on the roof now.
Yeah, well, because it was just like a trap door almost.
Yeah.
You just
I think it,
popped
like, slid. I think it was either a sliding door or, like, a flip door.
Yeah, and you just popped into the roof. Mm-hmm. And the roof was beautiful. Mm-hmm. Because it, like, wove around some of the peaks of the house. Yep. It's so cool looking, and the hot tub was very nice. We were in there for a long time.
They might have a bar up there when it's, like, warmer out.
Or you can, because there was a
place for there to be a bar.
Yeah. I don't know if that's, like, a venue thing you have to, like, rent it out yourself and, like, request it or not.
Probably. I don't know. But hot tub was very nice. Mm-hmm. You could almost see downtown Kalamazoo.
Almost. There's a lot of trees over there.
Yeah. And it was nice. It was a little bit scary because it's, like, it's not like a built-in hot tub. It's just, like, a jacuzzi that's, like, placed there.
Yeah.
And, like, you're kind of on one of the pieces that, like, juts out a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, like, there was, like, a fence around, but, like, if you just, like, leaned on that fence, you might just, like...
Because it was just, like, one of those wrought iron fence, but it was small.
And it was kind of, like...
gappy.
It was, like, zip-tied or metal-tied.
Yeah.
To, like,
it was...
to, like, something else. So...
It was kind of rickety in that corner. Because, yeah, you could just... If you were, like, standing up in the hot tub and, like, lean... Because you could lean over the fence standing in the hot tub. You could just... fall out.
Yeah. If you wanted to do, you could do.
Yeah. It was nice. A little creepy right there, like, with the height situation.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just going to not look over this edge here because...
But very nice. The staff was also really nice. Mm-hmm.
I feel like they were a lot nicer than last time. It was different people. I don't know. I kind of felt like they were...
Yeah, well, the last time we went, it was for a birthday, and we tried to bring in a cake that I made, because we have this... I'm terrible at baking, in case you don't know. Absolutely terrible. We have this, like, weird friend thing where I always make terrible cakes for everybody because it's funny. So
They're ugly.
Terrible. So I tried to make this, like,
good.
Yeah, Henderson Castle cake out of, like, Rice Krispies and fondant, and we were up all night trying to do it. You helped me with it. Mm-hmm. And it looked like absolute fucking shit, but we couldn't bring it in. And and the ladies were like, you can't, no, outside for loud. And we're like, it's for a birthday. I worked
Please.
hard. And I think they just felt pitiful because
like, this cake is sad.
It looked terrible because it's about, I can't do that stuff. And that's, like, the joke. And so I think it was just kind of like, okay,
fine,
you can have it because it's just...
But you're not supposed to have outside food.
You're not supposed to have outside food or drinks or, like... anything. Like, their rules are too strict, in my opinion.
I get it to, like, a certain extent because, like, they have, like, I would imagine their antique rugs in the room. And, like, it's a lot of, like, original, like, woodwork and stuff. So I get it to, like, that extent. But at the same time, I'm like, people are paying $200 to stay here. Let them have a Diet Coke in the room. Like, I just...
Yeah, it was that strict. Like, you could have water. And that was, like...
I think that's why they had water in the room.
So we didn't bring our own. I get it. But you know people are breaking those rules. Like, no one's abiding by them.
Sorry. Bring it to you.
You have a sad life. So, like I said, staff was nice. Hot tub was very nice. It was very beautiful. They had a lot of, like, antique trinkets and music boxes and player piano that I couldn't touch that I was mad about.
So many signs that said, please don't touch. I'm like, well, then why over here?
I know. Yeah, I want to look. Look, but don't touch. I hate my mom used to tell me that all the time. Look, but don't touch. Ugh.
Yeah. So,
like I said before, when we got there, we unloaded our stuff, our equipment and everything. And this was the first, I think, big investigation that wasn't my house that we had the dowsing rods.
Yes.
And have we explained what those are before on the podcast?
I don't think so. Maybe we did quickly. I'm going to butcher it. Because I'm not going to look it up. I'm just going to...
Just
going to guess. So dowsing rods, and kind of with pendulums too, in some
I feel like we've had this conversation.
I think we have. But the very, like, bare bones description of them is that they were used, they're copper rods, 100%. Well, I think ours are like 99.9%. That's like the best you can get right now anyway. But they're copper rods that help people to find water sources.
Because water sources have their own flowing energy, if you don't know.
Yeah. That's what they were
intended for originally. And they're, like, old. Super old.
Oh, like, yeah.
Like,
at least
hundreds and hundreds of
years old.
Yeah, very old technique. So I don't know why people started using them for spirit communication, but I'm convinced they work. And that might sound gimmicky, like copper rods, like dowsing rods, whatever.
Right.
But after this investigation, man, I don't know. I'm like, grain of salt. We've got to use it somewhere else because the only two places we've used it are, like, here in Henderson.
Yeah. That's fair. So, like, how people use dowsing rods in, like, ghost hunting, in the ghost hunting category. That's not the word that I want.
Category, I like that. Yeah.
Like, for that purpose is, like, you stand there and you have, so I'm trying to figure out how to describe it.
They look like L's. They're like 90-degree angles.
Yeah, and you'll see them in the video whenever we insert it. It'll be inserted randomly somewhere. But it's there, so it's like a copper L, but then on, like, the handle there's, like, another copper tube so that you're not touching
the actual rod. The
actual copper rod that moves to get the response. And so, like, you're holding just these, like, tubes, and inside the tube comes out.
Basically the rod is sitting inside the tube and you hold onto the tube and the rod can swing. It's like free floating in the tube. Right. It's not snug.
Right. And so, like, it can move on its own, given energy, water flow, whatever.
And if you just, like, sit still with the rods, they don't move because they're just leaning against the tube and you're just, like, unless you're, like, if you're moving, or if you're, like, thinking, like, they'll move. Like, you can, if you move your hand, like, you know, it's gonna move. Or if you're breathing too heavy like this, they'll move. It's gonna move. And, like, the easiest way for me to describe it is when I'm using them, I can feel when it's me moving it, and that's probably one of the clips too. I'm telling my mom that, but you can tell when you're moving it versus when something else is moving it. There's, like, a different kind of pressure on the tube that you're using. Yeah, I can attest to that. Like, I don't like using them. Not that I don't like them, I love them, but I am much too anxious and shaky at all times to use them. If I'm using them, they're just moving because I can't even, like, because I, like, can think I'm calm enough to use them, and then I get them, and then I'm afraid of what's going to happen. Like, I'm going to get a fucking response, and it's going to make me shit my pants, and so my heart rate starts going, and I breathe heavy, and then it moves because I'm breathing too heavy. So I'm not a fan of using them myself because I can't fucking sit still for anybody's business. Right. So it's fine. So you're using the dowsing rods. It's like
normally you like create the precedent of like if the rods are straightforward, it means yes or no. Or if they're crossed, they mean yes or no.
Just like a pendulum. Show me yes, show me no.
Right. And so we did where no was straightforward, both rods are pointing away from whoever's holding them. And then yes would cross.
Yeah.
And I think we've talked about it before where like in our particular mindset, the farther crossed it is, the heavier of a yes it is.
Yeah. Because
I don't know if that's true or not.
I feel like if there's more
more energy
to the cross
to make it cross, that it does go that far, that it's like, oh, they meant that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Does that make sense? Maybe we're the only people that do that.
Whatever.
I don't know.
That's it. I think it works for us because that's what we decided. So
yeah, and I mean that's how we've always been, and we didn't like talk about that. That was just like an unspoken agreement that we had.
That's what that means.
So of course that's what it means.
Duh.
So your mom hasn't been on an investigation with us for a while, and the dowsing rods are new, so she's very curious about them.
She was like, "Let's do them right now."
Yeah, so she wanted to see what happened. Yeah. Well, we did an EMF sweep when we got there.
I had my mom do the EMF sweep.
Because she loves EMF. Mm-hmm. So do I, to be fair.
Yeah.
Not a lot happened. There was one outlet by the door that if you put it up against the outlet, it would go off.
It would go off real bad.
Real bad. But I think it's because it's a very, very old house and none of the electrical looks safe.
I did get semi-electrocuted by that outlet later.
You did, yeah. Also, the Keurig machines in there are trash. I'm so mad about it because all I wanted was fucking coffee, and they gave us coffee.
It leaked everywhere.
It leaked
overflowed
everywhere.
Yeah, it was a mess.
I cleaned it up. Don't worry, I cleaned it up. But I didn't get any coffee, and I could not get the thing to work. It would either go, like, give me just 2 sips of coffee, or it would give me mass amounts of coffee. Yep. No matter how much water I did. And I have a Keurig, guys. I use one.
So you know how to use it.
I know how to use it. I was mad. Because it was, like, midnight. We were still investigating. We were still getting stuff. I wanted the coffee. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know me, I'm a coffee fiend. Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry. I'm so mad about it.
It's fine.
Long story short, that's the outlet you got electrocuted by.
I did get electrocuted by an outlet. Like it might have been the cord and not the outlet. But I will say my hand hurt for like the rest of the night.
Yeah, and we used that cord a lot.
I was like, oh, like my fingertips were like in pain, but it's fine.
It's fine.
I have fully recovered since then. So no need to sue Henderson Castle.
Yeah. Anyway. So when we got there, we got the EMF sweep, only one spike.
Mm-hmm. Zeros everywhere else.
Everywhere else. Mm-hmm. Granted, we didn't go around the entire hotel or bed and breakfast. Mainly because it is so creaky.
You cannot sneak around Henderson Castle.
No. And like, no. It just felt creepy to me to like walk around everyone's door and like, because you can hear when someone's outside your door. It is creaky. There's no... You're making a lot of noise when you're walking.
Yeah, there's no sneaking up in Henderson Castle.
No. So it just felt weird to me to be like walking all over the place.
Yeah. The majority of our investigation was just in the room.
Yeah.
And I think that room was one of the ones that's known for good stuff, I feel like. I can't... Because it's a Victorian.
There was the Victorian... I think it was the Victorian room. But there was a few like reportings. There was a few things reported from that room specifically, and it just happened to be the only room that we could get with 3 people.
Yeah.
So we're like, cool.
Worked out.
So we did the EMS sweep, didn't really get anything.
No.
Then your mom wanted to try the dowsing rods. Mm-hmm. And how the room was set up is you walk in, and like the beds are here. To your right was the closet door that was locked for some reason.
It was locked this time.
I think so last time that we were there, I think one of our friends opened it because we're like just really curious and she's ballsy.
Sure.
So she opened it and we're like, oh, it's just a freaking closet. That's all it was.
There was like a children's book in there, I think.
That's where the robes were when we were there first. Okay. The robes were in the closet. There was a children's book in there the first time, which was really weird.
It was a creepy closet.
It was creepy.
Yeah.
It was locked this time.
Don't know why.
It was locked. So you walk in. To your right was the closet. To your left was the bathroom. And then there's like the room in front of you. It was just like a very square room. Mm-hmm. And
if we have pictures, we'll try to...
Yeah. Well, I'll throw in some stuff here and there. If you're watching on YouTube.
Or something.
If you're listening, go to our social media. We'll have pictures.
Yes.
And your mom was standing right in front of the closet door.
Mm-hmm. Between the closet and the little table with the water on it.
Yeah. And this was pretty far away from the EMF spiking outlet. I just want to point that out there for what's going to happen next. Mm-hmm. It was a decent amount away.
It was far enough away for it to not bother it, I would think.
Yes. So, I don't even know. I think I was in the bathroom, and I heard you, like, what? Like, you had a reaction. And I was like,
Gotta go.
I gotta go. Like, what's going on? So, I hurried out of the bathroom, and stuff was happening already.
With the dowsing rods.
With the dowsing rods. And I have it, it's kind of like, I have it on my phone because we hadn't had anything set up yet. And we burn our camera to record this stuff. But I had just my phone. I pulled out my pocket. And I was like, oh my gosh. I don't know how your mom got started or like what question we started to ask.
Couldn't tell you. It's in the video.
It's in the video. We'll watch it. But she was getting responses.
Yeah.
Whole responses. And at one point, because it's like a 5-minute clip, I want to say, a full 5 minutes. At one point, we were like, can you point it at Alexis? Can you point it at Sarah? And the dowsing rods went right.
It pointed directly at me, and then she was like, can you point them at Sarah? And it went past you at first.
Yeah.
But it went like...
all the way.
Like it pointed at you and then like kept going, so I don't know.
Well, and then your mom makes a comment in the video, no, that's not Sarah. That's not where she is.
That's not where Sarah's at.
And we talk for a second, and then it goes right back to me. And I hand you the camera to be like, this is where I'm standing. This is
right.
this is real. And we hadn't even started anything yet. We were like on our way out to dinner.
Yeah, it was like a quick like impromptu. My mom wanted to play with the dowsing rods.
Before we left, yeah. And it was a good, like, I'll insert the video here so you can see it now.
That's wonderful. You're doing great. I have got the chills like you would not believe. I got tingle numb legs. And an English degree.
Don't make her laugh.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let me straighten it out for you. There you go. Oh, you guys like to play
Oh,
with
my
these.
word.
Thank you so much. Ooh.
No way. No way.
Am I moving at all?
No.
I don't think so.
I mean, I can't see you moving. And it's not like the room's uneven because you were standing there 30 seconds ago with them straight, just fine.
You are pointing at Sarah right now. Can
Oh,
you
good
turn
Lord.
and point at Alexis?
I'm Alexis over
She's
here.
across the room.
No way.
It's Alexis right there.
Oh my word.
Can you point back at Sarah? Oh. Is my hand not moving?
I don't think you're moving. I mean, I can see that you're moving, but you're not like tilting. You're like just normal holding.
Thank you. Can you cross them once more for me?
Do you see how it's moving? It's like moving like there's a push. Because you can see
Yeah.
the difference.
Well, that's how you described it last time you used them. It feels like there's a pushing, like a pulse to it almost.
Right, particularly in my right hand. You guys are doing wonderful.
No way.
Thank you so much for crossing.
This is insane.
My right hand definitely has the pressure, not my
You
hand.
feel it's like you can. There's like a push, like a
Yes.
like it's like you can tell it's not you. When it's not you, you can tell that it's not you. No, it doesn't go up.
I'm going up or something because it touched.
Wow.
Thank you so much for doing this with me. That was me that time.
Okay. And
But you can feel the difference,
know
though.
the
My
difference.
left hand was definitely me just then.
Can you cross them as far as humanly possible? Or subhumanly possible? No. Okay. We're not doing this for me.
Can you cross again? The left one in my left hand, can you bring it forward and cross? My right one's waiting for you. There you go. Keep going. Although I think my finger might be in your way.
Might be.
Go ahead and push, push. The left one really hard. Did my hand move?
I don't
It's
think so. Can you cross the right one? This one on this hand a little bit
My
farther?
right hand a little bit farther. Can you touch my hands? Thank you.
And you know, I was just thinking, if it's a kid, they might not know left and right.
You
That's
did
true.
Great.
That's awesome. They might not know left and right. That's so good. Can you point them both at me? See, we know that you're here. And it's not that we don't believe it, we just kind of want a little bit of, you know, solid communication.
Yeah, point at Alexis. There you go.
Point them both at me.
This is insane.
That's awesome.
Alexis.
Oops, I think I did that.
That's fine. You'll know when you do it.
And we
I
did
did the right one by mistake.
we were just complaining about like getting nothing on our locations.
I know.
That's Alexis right there.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Thank you so much.
can you point to Sarah? And then I'll let you rest for a while.
A little bit too far on that one.
Is that me, maybe?
You know.
I don't think that's me. No, I mean,
That's
I don't know who's over there, but it's not Sarah.
Might be.
this is Sarah right here. Good job. Can you point the other one at her?
I think there's someone outside the door he wants us to know about.
Just because when they're pointing directly at me, you can't see them.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so
Just
much.
to like prove that they actually did come point at me.
Can I talk to you later? If I can talk to you later, cross really full. Thank you so much. I'm gonna set these down, but we can play later, okay? Thank you.
So, as you can tell, we got some responses,
We did.
and we were pretty stoked about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And that's all we did beforehand, before we got back to like the real investigation, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah.
But after that, we were kind of hyped.
Mm-hmm.
We were like,
This is gonna be some good stuff. Like we were like, this was promising.
promising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So we went to the University Roadhouse and drank a little bit, and then,
Also, great food.
really good food. University Roadhouse in Kalamazoo.
Also,
I've been there once since then too, and it was
great
equally good.
sangrias.
A delicious sangria.
And what did I have? A Roadhouse punch
Roadhouse punch
or something?
That was
awesome.
like that was for people who don't like alcohol, but it was fun. Sangria was really good.
Yeah.
So we went back.
We didn't drink enough to be drunk, for the record.
For the record,
I feel like
just one drink each. Was the drink
just to like
was the drink
loose-
24 ounces? Maybe, but we only had one drink each.
It's a very tall glass. It's very grandiose glass we had.
Yeah, it's fine. It was on sale, and we got back. We're already set up, ready to go.
Yeah, we set everything up before we left. That's why we had the dowsing rods out.
Yep. So we're all set up, ready to go. And rewind. We had set up the security camera
We take that
before we
everywhere now.
left, just in case. Spoiler alert: got 0 on the security camera. So we're all set up, and we just decided to let's just do, because it's getting dark. We're gonna do. So we got the spirit box, and we sat in the bed, and we have a really, really long recording of us talking to a spirit box and getting nothing.
It was like half an hour, 40 minutes of just nothing.
Silence. Not just what did it say?
It was,
Was that
nothing.
something? There was 0. There was not a single blip on the spirit box for the entire time.
No, and I think I was getting restless. I was sitting in the corner of the bed, picking my nail polish off. I was like,
You really
we had the dowsing rod thing earlier, and I'm like,
what the hell is going on?
this is another
supposed to be good.
investigation where we're gonna get nothing,
Right.
Pretty much. And so I was irritated, and that's probably not good for an
irritated too.
investigation. I
But-
think we all were. But I don't know what made us get up. I think it was either you or your mom were well, let's try the dowsing rods again.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, maybe I don't know who it was, but I think
we
got
were just
up,
restless.
messed with the dowsing rods, tried to convince something to get on the Connect. Nothing came on the Connect, which is also very sad.
Yeah. I think in some of the clips you can hear me, you can hear you go, I'm gonna level with you. I know you're here. Just show, just do this. Or
We know that you're here because you were here with the dowsing rods earlier. And in my opinion, there's some places you go because people had experiences, and just because some people have experience doesn't mean you're going to have an experience. But, like, in a house like that...
Please, guys, please remember that. We've had some, like,
we've already gotten hate mail.
We've already got some, like, weird messages. You're like, well, I went there and we had all this activity and blah, blah, blah. And we're like, that's great for you. Like
genuinely happy
that's
for
great
you.
for you.
We did not.
Sorry.
and we're trying. It's not like we're like, let's make a podcast and not try.
Let's not even go.
Let's not even go. Let's just lie about it. It's fine.
Sorry, we are the wrong people to send hate mail to. For the record,
because we overanalyze it and make up things.
And then we get like nervous. We're like, oh my god, did we actually like try though?
Did we?
And then the next day we're like, well, fuck this, we did try. Listen,
well, especially like for some investigations, like we've driven like 6 hours to get somewhere.
Yeah, 6 hours plus.
Obviously, we tried, but
anyway,
off
our soapbox.
Our little tangent there, but. Tried the Connect. Got nothing on the Connect.
Nothing.
Got the dowsing rod out. EMF detector.
I think the EMF detector was the one that started to go first.
Yeah.
Because all three of us were sitting on one of the beds, and I think your mom had it in front of her. Mm-hmm. And made the dowsing rods, and it, like every once in a while, it'd go up to like 0.02, 0.01.
Just like tiny fluctuations, but it would just be sitting there,
just randomly
in a place that. Like, even, like, on the bed. So you're, like, not close to the floor. You're not close to the ceiling. You're not close to the walls. So you're not close to anything that could have electricity in it. And we had already done the sweep. And there was no EMF readings on any of the sweep.
Yeah, I think that's why your mom decided to get up. Is because we had those tiny fluctuations for a second. And she's like, let me just do another sweep.
Let's check this out.
Let me just do another one, you know?
Yeah.
And then that's when things got weird.
Yeah. So... I think we have clips of it, but like it was weird because my mom was playing with the dowsing rods and she would ask questions and just like
1 out of 5 questions would get a small response.
Right. And like sometimes the EMF detector would go off while she was asking, not go off, it wouldn't go off. It would raise, it wouldn't like beep or anything.
Yeah. It did a few times.
Right, when she was asking questions and then like just weird things.
Like we knew something was trying to communicate but it wasn't doing it on command, I would say. Like we would be like, can you move the EMF? And it wouldn't do it. And then I'd go say something to you and we're like, oh shit, the thing just went off. Right. And so we're like, well, it was kind of frustrating.
Yeah. And my mom was asking questions because we knew that there had been some reports of like a child of some kind running around there and like having like a spirit of a small child. So we're like, okay, well maybe it's a kid.
Yeah. And I think that's when we switched gears a little bit because looking back at it now, I don't think a child would really know how to do that stuff on command or like really get it. Like it was just kind of like these random curiosity spikes, I would say. Like 0.02 every once in a while, or like the dowsing rods might move for a second. And it was kind of like, looking back on it, I would think, testing the waters. Yeah. Like it's just kind of poking around. And then when we were like, oh, maybe it's a kid, and we switched gears and we like readjusted the entire investigation around this kid. Yep. Things started ramping up. Yeah. And it was really cool for a while.
Yeah. It was, so my mom had the dowsing rod, she was sitting down, and at one point she had the EMF detector on her lap because it seemed like on her lap it would like go to like 18.
Yeah, there was a specific spot with her that would just spike.
But then it would go back down. And so like if you're just sitting in a stationary position and you have an EMF detector on your lap, it should stay at whatever number it's at.
Yeah, unless you bring a phone close to it or something pretty significant next to it goes off or moves it. But if you're sitting there in the middle of a bed, in the middle of a room, not near anything significant, there's no reason it should go off.
Right. My mom doesn't keep her phone in her pocket. She keeps it like in her purse that was like across the room. So there's no chance that like it was high because her phone was in her pocket. She doesn't have like an Apple Watch. She doesn't, like my mom doesn't own electronics all over her person. So it's not like, there's no reason.
She's not like packing weird electronic things.
So it wouldn't make sense for her lap to be reading an 18 when that's really high.
It was really high.
It wasn't 0.18. It was
18
point something.
Which, if you like use the EMF for what it's like supposed to be used for, like maintenance work, whatever, that's like concerning levels.
It's a little high.
Like if something is omitting that high, that's like, let me check that out.
There's
something not right with that.
Going on. Yeah. And yeah, so it would go up and down, and then like I would grab the EMF detector and kind of like move it around her, and it all around her there was a reading.
Yeah.
And but then sometimes there would be 0. And then there would be in the same spot that there was just an 11 or whatever.
And one really cool thing that she did that I'm like, I would never have thought to do. I like having your mom investigation.
Yeah, me too.
She, at one point, I don't remember when, I think it was like after a good while of you doing that. We're like, we'd have a reading, we wouldn't have a reading, and we're like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why? I think she's just like, are you playing a game? Are you playing hide and seek? Mm-hmm. And then, like, it got really cool because she would go, like, okay, she would count. She would play hide and seek with this thing. And she would count. And she'd like, okay, I'm going to come find you. Mm-hmm. And she had the EMF, and she'd go across the room.
Yep.
And you had the dowsing rods. Mm-hmm. So this is the game we played. I was just kind of like watching in awe because at this point I was like freaked because it was working. So you'd have the dowsing rods, and she would count down. Mm-hmm. And then she'd go, okay, ready or not, here I come. The dowsing rods would move. Mm-hmm. And she would follow where the dowsing rods would move and get a spike on the EMF. Mm-hmm. I shit you not, because I was like the whole time just sitting in the corner watching this happen, and I'm like,
what is happening?
I don't know what's going on. Like, I was pretty much down for the count because I don't think, and it was for a long time that would go on. Mm-hmm. I don't think we've ever had that significant of a call and response type thing for that long.
Yep.
And I was just like, this is insane. There's things moving in the room that I can't see. And then I was kind of like, my anxiety was a little high. So I was just watching it all.
And we did end up getting some stuff on the spirit box. And this episode's a little bit different because I think we're just going to like insert the clips of stuff we got at the end and kind of explain what we were doing around those things.
Yeah.
Because it was a really long investigation, and it was also
really long,
quite a few weeks ago. And so
like
our memory's a little bit faded, but like we have enough context in the clips for me to know what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So it'll be a little bit different, but we did get some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some pretty interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm. So our clips that we're going to insert here are in chronological order. We did not previously talk in chronological order because we're all over the place. We remembered things, and then we had to say them right away because of who we are.
Because we forget if we don't do that.
Yeah. So all the clips are in chronological order, and we're just going to dive in. Mm-hmm. And I want to say that wear headphones, please. Like, it's important.
It's so important because we just went through and listened to them again.
You could barely hear it out loud on my laptop, but when we had headphones on last night, it was like no question.
I think a few of them we were like, what does that say? But for the most part, we're like,
right.
Oh no, this has this. Yeah. So.
Yes.
Wear headphones.
Yes. Clip number 1. We left this in because, as we said before, we had been sitting around for a very long time and getting nothing on the spirit box. Not a blip, not a single sound in the entire world. And this was the first thing. And it's just a simple, hi.
Hi.
But it was the first thing. And so we're going to leave it in.
Because it was exciting for the first time to hear it.
Yeah, but really. So here it is.
Hey, hi.
So the next clip is kind of out of context. We don't really know what the context of it is, but it was really noticeable.
It was clear.
It was clear and it was noticeable, so we left it in. And they're saying bowl or
ball. We were just talking to each other, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. Like, we weren't like asking a question. We were just kind of like chatting to each other. Ball.
And that was...
Okay.
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah, so here it is. So in the next clip, my mom asks whoever's in the room if she like sings a poem, will they make the EMF detector spike?
And I think this is right around the time where we were starting to get the idea of maybe a kid being around. Mm-hmm. And you'll see later, we like gear it towards little kids later. But I think this was when we're like, I remember reading that there was a little kid. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll try this.
Right. And so she like loosely sang Mary Had a Little Lamb really quickly.
Yeah. And underneath her, you can hear, do you see it?
Yeah. I'm like, do you see that?
Because the EMF spiked.
Mm-hmm. And at the very end of the clip, you hear a little kid going, hi. So
We think it worked.
You know, grain of salt. We're not experts, but we'll put it here.
We're experts.
If I tell you a poem, will you make the EMF go higher? Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. Sing some more, but I'm not a very good singer.
So in the next clip, you can hear us talking about how we really were like surprised that we were getting things in the spirit box because we hadn't been getting anything in the spirit box prior to then.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit faint, but you can hear someone go, mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I say, considering we got nothing earlier, and I was being kind of bitchy about it because I was annoyed. And right after that, you hear, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, you were getting nothing because we control it.
Right? So we'll answer that here.
Considering it was nothing earlier.
The next clip, we were kind of like trying to debunk the EMF detector going up and down in a weird way. And you can hear me talking about how like there's no forced air heating. And the reason I thought that anyway was because like in forced air heating, there could be like a duct or something above you that could like, you know, do something. I don't know. But even then the ceilings were really high in there. So I don't think it would have affected it that much. But that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, oh, there's no forced air heating in here because it's, you know, old. And then you hear something in the spirit box go, that's true.
And for a while, this is one of the ones where we had to listen to it a lot. And we like didn't get it. And all of a sudden it clicked for both of us at the same time. We're like, does that say that's true?
Yeah.
Like,
true.
Weird.
True. There's no forced air heating here because it's old.
Old.
So here it is. That's what doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
And there's not forced air heating in here. No. So it's not like there's like a duct above us that's running. I'm going to... So coming up, you can hear me in the next clip. I'm like, that sounded like a walkie.
Like a walkie-talkie.
And I don't know like why I thought that because I can't really hear what I heard.
Yeah.
Like I can't hear the sound that I heard to make me go, oh, that sounds like a walkie. I don't know what I'm talking about. But...
Usually.
But right after that, you can hear a woman go, walkie or talkie or like you thought I said happy.
Yeah, it's just, it seemed like a very pointed response.
Like, yeah. See, I think it said walkie. Like, yeah, walkie. I don't know like how old walkie-talkies are. Probably pretty old. Old enough for them to have used it then.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll look it up. I don't know. But I'll answer that clip here. Here's the thing, I'm gonna level with you. I know that you're here, and I would really, really love to speak to you. Even if it's just a couple of words here and there, it would make us show up. I hear that sound like a walkie.
Sound like a cat. Does she say speak?
I don't know. So at this point in the night, we're like, it's time to take pictures with the flash.
Mm-hmm.
Let's turn the lights off, take pictures with the flash, hope to God we see an apparition or an orb or something.
Yeah. And we were explaining what we were going to do.
Yeah, out loud. We're like, hey, we're going to turn the lights off, whatever. And so we turn the lights off, and then we're like commencing the picture.
Well, you can hear like the shutter from the camera go off.
And like in the background, like on the spirit box, you can hear a kid's voice go, dark.
Mm-hmm.
And it was dark.
Creepy.
So we'll insert that here. We're going to turn the lights out. It may be a little bit dark. But we'll be in here with you. You'll be safe in here with us. It's the siding. It's just to get a couple pictures of you, so please don't worry and please don't feel like you need to leave, okay? So coming up, my mom is taking pictures and she asks, like, hey, something along the lines of, like, hey, can I keep taking your picture? Like, hey, can I take pictures of you? Or something like that. And it's kind of a long clip, but there's 3 responses in that clip. Mm-hmm. And right after she asks if it's okay, you hear, yes.
And we hear that in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And that yes is quiet.
Yeah.
But then we say yes, so like that said yes or something, and then you can hear go.
Yeah.
And then at the very
like
end,
it's like, take my picture.
Go ahead and do it. I'm right here. And then at the end of the clip, it says me.
Like, take my picture.
Take my picture. I don't know.
We didn't end up getting anything on the pictures, sadly.
No, nothing on the pictures at all, but it's fine. So I'll put that here. Did you take pictures with the lights off? I said yes. Lights off? Did you hear it? Or was it just me?
I hear you say something.
Okay, go. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Oh no, that's not going. So the lights are all off in the room right now. It's very dark. And my mom is like making conversation with Spirit. It's fine.
That's what she does.
And yeah, and she goes, it's like lightning, isn't it? And then a little bit farther in the clip you hear, fire. Mm-hmm. And so like that leads me to believe like, oh, like it's not like lightning, it's like fire.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know. Might be a reach, but that's what it says.
Yeah. Sounds like fire.
Yeah, so listen in.
It's kind of like lightning, isn't it? It's when you're watching that flash in here.
So in the room at Henderson, there's like a massive mirror. It's like almost floor to ceiling.
Almost, yeah.
It's pretty tall. And so when we're taking pictures, the lights are off or whatever, and like you can see like the flashing back in the mirror.
And I'm facing the mirror. I'm like, I had my phone charged, and I was like sitting on the edge of the bed, and I'm like facing the mirror. And you can hear me go, I'm afraid I'm going to see something in the mirror and with the flash. Like, I'm freaking out because I'm on edge.
Yeah.
And we didn't catch this one at first, but like upon further review, I say like something in the mirror. And right as I'm ending that sentence, you can hear something go, in the mirror.
Yeah.
And then you go, not that we want to.
Yeah, like, we don't want to see it.
And then the box goes, yes. Mm-hmm. So we didn't actually get anything in the mirror, which sucks, but I was freaked out about it.
Right. Here's that clip now.
I'm like waiting to see something in the mirror with a flash.
Not that we want to. So we finished up pictures and we started messing with the Connect and standing in front of it, dancing in front of it, whatever we do all night. It's fine. I saw something glowing in the mirror, or not in the mirror, in the Connect, like on the screen, and it ended up being your charging block.
Yeah, like the charging block to my phone that plugs into the wall has a blue light on it, and you could kind of see that from behind the bed.
Right, and I was like, what is glowing? And you can hear me say that in the next clip. I'm like, what? I was like, what's glowing or whatever. And then there's a voice that goes, what?
Like when I heard the clip, I'm like, it immediately made me think of the minions from Despicable Me.
Kind of, yeah.
What?
What? So we kept it in because it's just like,
it's funny.
It's not just like, what? It's like, what?
Yeah.
So we'll insert that here. So I was like, what is glowing?
What?
Now, we didn't know what was for.
Yeah.
Like,
we still
in
don't.
the moment, we really weren't like, oh, like, they're questioning, like, what is glowing, too. But, so after that, I'm like, oh, what are you questioning? And that's in the next clip. And at the end of the clip, it goes, jump. So I don't know if we're like...
Jumping off the roof. Jumping off the bed.
Jumping into a new endeavor. We don't know.
Jumping into a new job.
But in the next clip, I'm like, what are you questioning?
Jump.
Jump.
Oh.
So...
Cool.
And there was no question when I heard that. I was like, oh, that's
his jump.
So we'll insert that here. What are you questioning? In the next clip, my mom says, hey, have you been here for a long time? To a ghosty. And she gets a response. And so like a few seconds into the clip, you hear, long. So someone's been there for
A long time.
quite a while.
And they're contemplating jumping.
They're contemplating jumping.
Have you been here a long time?
So at this point, I mainly was frustrated that we hadn't seen anything on the Connect. And so I got up again to stand in front of it, and I was waving. And I'm like, can you see me waving in the Connect or in the camera, I think I said? Mm-hmm. And I didn't see anything in the Connect, but you hear in the spirit box something go, hi.
Yep.
Like a high-pitched kid's voice.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just relevant because I was waving at the Connect.
Right.
Like waving, hello.
Can you see me? Hi, I'm waving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll put that here.
Hi, I'm raising my hand. Can you see me?
So in the next clip, not sure if it's my mom or if it's me. I think it might be me asking, hey, are you buried across the street? Because there's that massive cemetery. That's where all the Hendersons are buried. And like, quick disclaimer, we did do a small investigation there. Didn't get anything.
Absolutely
At a cemetery.
nothing.
Very, very devastating when it's literally a place full of dead people.
And we searched for that Mr. and Mrs. Henderson's grave for eternity.
Found it.
Found it.
Did an investigation right next to it. Didn't get anything.
Didn't get anything.
That's fine. And I'm like, hey, were you buried across the street? And the only response I get is
Street. Like clear. It says street.
Very clearly street. So I don't know if that's a yes or a no. But I don't know. But here it is. Are you buried across the street? So we asked, are you buried across the street? Maybe got a yes or a no. And then Sarah asks, can you tell us your last name so we can
go find you?
Like keep an eye out for you? And when I was reviewing it, I thought it said Finney. And so I went on Find a Grave to see if I could find a Finney buried.
I think you say that in the moment too.
I think I did. And
or it's in the next clip. We say Finney at some point.
Right. And so I Googled it on the Find a Grave to see if there's anybody with the last name Finney, and I tried a million different spellings. Couldn't find it. No Finney. And so I'm like, okay, fine. Because it gave us the last name, and I needed to figure it out. And so I went on there, and I went through a very long list of people that are buried there. Mm-hmm. Okay, a very long list. And
it's a large cemetery.
It's a huge cemetery. It's huge. Probably 3 acres at least.
At least, yeah.
3 acres, hilly, it's huge. And so I went through the list and I found a group of people with the last name Giddings. And you're like, Finney, Giddings, it's like not that close. Kind of close.
And well, when you listen back on it, it's pretty clear. To me anyway.
Yeah, and so we'll insert that clip here. In the moment, I thought I said Finney, but then when I play it back and I listen with headphones, it could very well say Giddings. I'm not saying that is what it's saying, because I don't know that we're talking to this group of Giddings. Can't prove it.
Could be.
But that's what it sounds like. So we'll insert it here.
Can you tell us your last name, your name, and your headstone so we can visit you and pay our respects?
So we left the next clip in. It's not really like that exciting.
Yeah.
But if you've watched us for a long time, like since we've had the spirit box, then you know that most of the time when we get like random hellos and highs, it's usually a man.
Yeah.
Or a very small child, like based on the voice. It's either like a hi or it's like a
hi.
Hi. Like
yeah.
Like a grown man or whatever. And we're leaving this one in because it's very clearly just a woman.
Like a grown woman saying hi.
hi. It's like soft, hi.
And that I think that correlates to like a later clip. Mm-hmm. So we kept it in because it's like, oh, a woman speaks to us again in a little bit.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's it. And then at the end of this clip, you hear a man saying hell or help.
Yeah.
It's one of the two, but it was very like hell, help,
yeah.
something. It was aggressive.
Yeah.
So we kept it in.
Yeah. Let us know what you think. We'll insert it here.
Just not doing anything. It's just
Hi. Next clip could be taken as like slightly insensitive, maybe.
But it's so funny.
So, okay. So my mom asked,
Out of the blue, right?
Out of the
It was
blue.
just kind of like,
matter of fact,
Yeah.
whatever. So my mom goes, do you know that you're dead?
and that's how she said it too. Do you know you're dead?
You'll hear that in the clip. But then I respond in like the way...
A growly voice.
Yeah. I'll reenact it. So I responded in the way that my dad would respond, which is like my father's daughter, I suppose. But I did the exact same that he did, the same thing that he would do. And he would back me up for sure. My mom would back me up too. So she goes, do you know that you're dead? And I waited a second and I was like, no shit, Sherlock. Like,
And so we start laughing. And then your mom goes, do you think that she's funny? And I go, I think she's funny. And then the spirit box goes, no. Very cut and dry, very clear.
no, she's not funny. I thought it was funny. I was just trying to be funny, and apparently it wasn't that funny. But we'll insert it here. It's just like the comical clip of the night.
Despite the last clip.
Except, no. The comical clip of the night was when my mom stumbled over her words. She's got tingle things. What did she say?
Tingle numb.
Tingle numbs or something.
You would have seen that already by the time we're talking about this because it's in the very first like video clip.
Yeah. And I'm like, and an English degree.
Anyway.
Stupid. We're terrible people. But
Here's
it
the
was
clip.
funny. Here's the clip.
Do you know that you're dead? Do you think she's funny?
So we heard the woman's voice before.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the next clip, we also heard the woman's voice. And it sounds like she says, Betty, very quick. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. Farther in the clip, you hear a man go, Betty.
I think maybe I asked in the moment, does it say Betty? Or I think we heard
Oh, I think we did.
in the moment, we're
I
like,
think we
say
did.
it Betty? And then it says Betty.
Betty.
Yeah,
That's what
I
it
did
said.
say Betty.
That's exactly what. Or looked like that's what she said, because it was a man. That's
Yeah.
what she said, Betty. So
Thought it was kind of cool.
we don't know who Betty is. If we find out, we'll post about it.
Yeah.
But we'll insert that here. So at this point, my mom was sitting over on the couch. She had grabbed her notebook out and she wrote a couple of numbers on a piece of paper.
In the hopes of getting a response. Like,
Someone to be like, oh, you, like, so she could be like, hey, do you know what I wrote on this piece?
just kind of like how, do you know how many fingers I'm holding up?
Right.
That thing.
Right. And so in the clip you hear her go, hey, do you know what number I wrote on the piece of paper? And like right on top, I don't know if you and I are talking or whatever, but like right over us talking, you can hear very clearly in the room.
It's not on the spirit box. It's a voice in the room.
It sounds like it's right next to my phone because my phone is what records the spirit box. And it sounded like it was right next to my phone because we weren't next to my phone.
No.
And like we were like, I don't know, 5 feet from it, not like right
Yeah.
next to it, but very close to the microphone, you can hear 4. Yeah. Like
it like gives me chills when I hear it because it's just creepy.
It's like when I first heard it, I was like, okay,
That's not the
headphones
number
out.
she wrote at that moment.
No,
To be fair.
so it was wrong. Maybe it was a guess, but
or maybe they were just mad at us and, like,
it
get this
just-
shit out of the way.
4.
Yeah.
Like you just have to listen. So
Here we are.
here we are. Listen.
Do you know what number I just wrote down on this piece of paper?
At this point, we're not really talking to the spirit box all that much. We were kind of like more interested in like the EMF and like
The dowsing rods
and like what my mom was doing on the paper and stuff like that. And so we had the spirit box near us, near enough,
It was on the bed by
near
your phone.
enough to hear it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we hear 8. And I was like, that just said 8. And my mom goes, you can hear my mom in the background, and she goes, 8? And she goes, that's the number I wrote on
the paper.
on my piece of paper. So we'll insert that here. So that's, she wrote 2 numbers. She wrote 7
7
and she
and
wrote
8.
8. And she wrote 8, and you can hear 8. Did that just say 8? It did.
Here we are.
It was her 8.
That's the number I wrote on a piece of paper.
This next clip we had to listen to quite a few times last night.
Yeah.
Had the headphones on. We're like, what does that say? What does that say? What does it say? It's 2 syllables. We knew it was 2 syllables.
Well, and we were trying, because we were still talking about the number 8 here. We're still talking about like, oh my God, that just said 8. Where did you say the number
Yeah.
8? And so we were like trying to see if it said another number, if it said paper or something.
Right.
And we think it ends up saying puzzle. And because we said, where did you see the number 8? And it like waits a little bit, puzzle.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it's like, we're writing numbers on this paper and you guess the number, or like that could be considered a puzzle.
Right.
Like a number puzzle.
We didn't talk about this, but that almost makes me wonder if my mom had her Sudoku with her. Because she often has it.
Has it?
So I don't know if she does.
She had it the last trip we went on.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I feel like. I don't know. She might not have had it.
She
But
always
that
has
just made me think about it, that she might have had her Sudoku with her. Maybe it was like sticking out of her bag or something.
it. Maybe.
I don't know. Can't prove it. We're too deep into recording for me to call her. So maybe she did, maybe she didn't. But that made me think about it because like a Sudoku's a puzzle, and they might not know what Sudoku is, and it just like looks like a puzzle. There's probably an 8 on it.
Probably.
I don't know. Just thought about
I
that.
hate Sudoku.
She's wrong. But it could be that, or they could have thought like this was like a game. It's like a puzzle
game.
or like a riddle. I don't know. Something.
Something.
Like that.
It says puzzle.
Yeah. So here it is. Where did you see the number 8? We started messing around with the EMF detector a little bit more heavily at this point. We're kind of watching the temperature go up and down, trying to like get it to do the thing. And my mom has it, and she's like, hey, can you change the temperature from 70.5 or to 70.5?
Yeah.
And when she says that, you can hear a voice, and we'll insert it coming up, but a voice goes, change. And she goes, yeah, change it.
And this one took me forever to hear.
She didn't even hear it until we were like just sitting here just now.
Yeah, I didn't, because we had the headphones in last night and we were like trying to listen to it. And we took the headphones out last night and I couldn't hear it. I couldn't even hear anything on the spirit box. I didn't even hear anything come through.
My mom heard it in the moment.
Yeah, because she's like, saying change it to 70.5? Yeah, change it. Like it, because it kind of like they overlap a little bit.
Yep.
I hear it now. Didn't I?
About time.
I'm broken.
Facts. We'll insert it here.
Can you make the temperature 70.5 degrees? Yep, change it.
So, despite all of our spirit box noises and EMFs and dowsing rod things, we were about ready to go to bed.
It was like 1:30.
It might have been later than that. It was late.
Yeah, because we had been investigating for a long time because things kept happening. Like things would die down.
4 hours maybe?
Yeah.
It had been quite a long investigation. And so my mom goes, hey, about time to say goodnight. Or whatever. Like, we're going to have to, you know.
We're getting ready to say goodnight.
Yeah. And the spirit box responds with, can't.
And it's loud, too.
Yeah, can't. And I don't know if that's like a response to like ghosts
Can't sleep.
can't sleep. That's a sad afterlife. But yeah, I don't know. But here it is.
Getting ready to say goodnight.
So we were finishing up, like, seconds from turning the spirit box off, and I didn't hear it in the moment.
Your
Neither
mother
did.
did.
You. My mom
Your
heard
mother
it.
did.
And so I'm not going to say, like, the word, because I don't know if you can, like, I don't know if you can say, I mean, you can, right?
I mean, I can say fuck on the
anything.
internet. So
Right. Just so we don't, like, offend motherly figures or fatherly figures. We just won't say it. But
I already offend my dad by swearing. So
she goes, well, that wasn't a very nice word.
she said, well, that was a rude word.
And we're like, well, what? And she goes, well,
He didn't say
I'm
it.
sure he didn't say it, but it kind of sounded like the C word. And
not cancer.
and no, it was the other one, the 4-letter C word. And I don't know if we have her in that clip saying it. Does she have it in there? Oh no, she didn't say it.
No,
I don't know. If she does, we're cutting it out. But yeah, so it pretty clearly sounds like it says.
And to be fair, we looked up like the history of this word.
Well, because I was like, I thought the C word, I almost said it,
Was like modern.
it's not. Like the earliest recorded writing of this word was like the 1200s.
Yeah.
So it's old. And it
comes from
the first written, it was like a street name
that prostitutes hung out on. I'm just gonna say it because it's funny. It was Grope Cunt Lane.
all one word.
And that's a road, so you can't yell at me for saying it because that was a road name. Historically, it was a road name.
Yeah.
For prostitutes.
And it was like a place that like prostitutes would dwell. So
yeah, and get their customers.
So yikes. So basically, moral of the story is it would have been a word that could have been used.
Yeah, because it's an old
in the
word.
last like 150 years. So it sounds like it's saying it. Take a listen. Let us know what you think.
Sorry for if you're offended by the 4-letter C word.
Well, that was a rude word. I'm sure he didn't say it. I thought he said the C word.
That's really all we have for this investigation. I don't want to say it like it wasn't that much. It just was a little bit different than other investigations.
Yeah, it was different because it was kind of like being pulled in so many different directions with so many different things or so many different people.
It was like we'd get activity here, then we'd get activity here, and then we'd be over here with activity. It wasn't really consistent, and I think that's really plays into why this episode wasn't really that consistent. We're all over the place.
And we haven't recorded for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, so, sorry, this is like a huge cluster. We're getting back into it.
Yeah.
It's been a wild ride of disaster the last couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah.
But we're here.
Yeah.
So,
and we have season 3, like we said, all ready to go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're ready for season 3. I'm not going to tell you what comes out first because I'm going to surprise you.
Yeah. So
it's not really going to be a surprise.
So thanks for bearing with us throughout this episode. We know that it was it's long.
It's so long. We just know.
It's messy, but so are we. So here we are.
Just how we like it.
Yeah. It's fine.
I'm moving that in.
Just how we like it. Cut. So let us know if you heard anything different than what we hear, or if you think we're delusional. We always want to know.
Well, sometimes you and I hear completely different things.
I could throw hands over some stuff that we argue about down here. I'm just going to be honest with you. Because sometimes she's like, I hear this. I'm like, no, you don't. There's just...
You're broken.
You don't hear that. There's no way. And so, like, I'm interested to know what other people think about it. If we're delusional. Or if, like, no, Lex is right. Or no, Sarah's right. Lex is right. But...
Listen... I have to rewrite some of the time, just statistically speaking. If I can even speak that fucking word. Jesus.
Okay,
we have to be done. Okay, wrap it up.
We're wrapping up. So let us know. You can reach out to us on any of our social media sites. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Sunday Night Spookies, and on Twitter at Sunday Spookies.
We also have some links in our description box. One is for the Buzzsprout website that we use to host the podcast. I love this website. Everything is in one website. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of different tabs, but everything is right there. It takes care of the monetization, your viewership. It tracks everything. It's so awesome. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking to start a podcast in your spare time, I highly recommend this website. And you get an Amazon gift card for using our link. So
Sure do.
not a bad deal. We also have a Instacart affiliate link. I hate grocery shopping. I say it every week. I don't like the general public. So I don't want to go out to the grocery store. There's just so many choices. I spend so much money.
And we're on the downturn of a pandemic, but we're still in it. So
we're still in it. So basically you can get your groceries delivered to you. And if you use our link, you can get free delivery on your first order of $30 or more. We also have a Cash App link. We're two broke college girls who love adventure. And adventures are expensive.
indeed they are.
Expensive. So if you have like a place in mind that's near the Midwest, not going to go to the UK yet. If you'd like to pay for me to go to the UK.
If you want to pay for us to go to the UK, we will go.
We'll go. So if you have like a location you want us to go to or a topic that you're dying to hear about and you think it'd be really cool and fits, what we do here, you can go ahead and like let us know, or you can Cash App us some money and be like, hey, I'd love for you guys to go here. And we definitely give you a shout out. Or if you'd like, everything that we receive goes right back into giving you better and more content. So if you're feeling humble, everything is greatly appreciated.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Sunday Night Spookies.
Join us on June 20th for the premiere of Season 3.
Yep. New episodes are released every Sunday evening, except for the one between this
Now in Season 3.
and Season 3. Thank you so much for listening, and as always,
Stay spooky.